Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode here on the channel. Today we go to Dover Raceway here for the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series. And we start things off here at the JEGS 200 with the Truck Series, where of course Erik Jones full-time in this 51 truck. We've been keeping up with him throughout the season, and he comes into this race with one win on the season currently now as he tries to make it two here today at Dover now as we're going to get ready to go green. He would actually have a very solid qualifying effort there as he started in that 7th position as he went down into turns 1 on this opening lap here in Dover now as he came through out of turns 2 side by side with the Canadian of Stuart Friesen as they go down this backstretch side by side down into turns 3 now as you can see Ross Chastain just in front of Jones as he's now up the inside of the 21 of Zane Smith now as he came through out of turns 4 side by side with him for the position. But Erik definitely had some solid speed in this car, and it was definitely showing because he was just kind of running this bottom lane and moving his way forward. He struggled on the first couple laps to move his way forwards, but as the race went on, he was making it happen. He got back past the 21, he passed the 13 as well. He got to the inside of the 2 of Sheldon Creed out of turns 4. Now a little bit later, he would clear him and take over 4th place and then get to the inside of the 23 of Brett Moffitt, and he would be able to take 3rd place away from Moffitt as he went through that corner now as he closes in on the back of Todd Gilliland. And a little bit of contact with the apron. You got to be very careful with that apron here at Dover as you're trying to run right on that bottom lane, but you get so close to the apron trying to do that. But Erik would come through to pass 2nd place of Todd Gilliland and then set his sights on Ross Chastain, and he would run down Chastain without a problem, and he would make a move to the inside into turns 1 here, and he would take the lead and drive away here in Dover now as he came through so clear of Chastain out of turns 2. And like I said, he would drive away from this point on here in Dover. So we come through right to the final lap in Dover International Raceway or Speedway now as we go down into turns 3 for the final time here. And turns 4, you can see it was actually now I believe Matt Crafton who had climbed up into 2nd place now as Erik Jones though comes through to get win number 2 on the season. The race actually ended under caution right before Erik came to the checkered flag. The caution came out and the race came to an end. So he is awarded though with the victory. He was going to hang on anyways without the caution, but made it a little bit easier there as he was coming to the line. So there you see the rest of the order on the screen. But Erik Jones now 2 wins on the season. I did not show the Xfinity Series race, but I did show the finishing order here in Dover. It was Michael Annett who won the race. Erik Jones actually was in our Xfinity car in the 54 as well. He finished P14, so a top 15 for Erik there, as that was a solid one with Cesar Barrichello down there in that last position. Now as we would get ready though here for the Cup Series now in Dover in qualifying. And once again, the DeWalt paint scheme on the car here for qualifying now as we are underway on our qualifying lap. Dover, a track that I've had a lot of success at in past NASCAR Heat games, so I was very confident coming into this event. Now as come through out of turns 2, but the confidence already goes down because I get into the outside wall in qualifying, and then through turns 3 and turns 4, I hit the apron, get sideways, and have it a terrible lap. 23.695, and we go P20 here in Dover, so was not very happy with that at all. We definitely left a lot of time on the table, so I think that's the one positive outlook on that one now as you see the rest of the order on your screen. Brendan Gaughan down there in that last position. Chase Elliott, not a very good qualifying effort either as he is only in P19. Jimmy Johnson, P16. Johnson always a big contender at Dover now as Ryan Blaney will be starting though on the pole as we're ready to get going here for the Dryden 400 at Dover International Speedway. I always forget what the actual name for this one is now, but yeah, I always get it wrong. It's like Dover Raceway or Dover International Speedway or something like that. But we're ready to go green here at the Monster Mile. Cole Custer posted some fast laps in practice, so I think we're going to have to watch out for him today. But Brad Keselowski gave up qualifying position for new tires. Look for him to gain absolutely nothing out of that now, as Ryan Blaney, though, will start on pole here in Dover as we're ready to go green here on the inside lane. We qualify 20th, but move up to P19 due to Keselowski going to the back for a new set of tires now as the green flag is out. And we are underway here in Dover just behind the 96 of Daniel Suarez, who's been actually up in the mix a little bit here lately now at these short tracks. So definitely got to keep an eye on Suarez. Maybe he could have a chance to sneak in a win like he did almost at Bristol. He was leading the race at Bristol in the late stages, but then a caution I think came out, and then obviously that kind of changed the rest of the race to where it ended up giving us a second place finish, as well as Martin Truex Jr. the victory now, as all the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers except for myself currently have gone to victory lane this season. Hamlin twice, Truex twice, Kyle Busch once, the most recently for our team. Now as we dive down into turns 1 of the inside of Matt DiBenedetto on the second lap in Dover as we come through out of turns 2. A little bit of contact there on his left front with our right rear quarter panel, but we make it work now as we're up to P16, diving up the inside of the 32 of Corey LaJoie into turns 3. So starting 19th up to P15, we would get to the inside of the 7-time champion of Jimmy Johnson at what is arguably his most dominant track in his career. We would pass him for the 14th position. Johnson kind of very realistically like it is in real life. He's right on that cusp of that playoff battle to get into the playoffs. So I honestly feel like they got the AI for him pretty accurate in this game now as we come through into turns 3. Hoping though that Johnson can have some good runs here in his final season in the career mode and have a chance to get to victory lane. And I'll be honest, if we have a chance to help Jimmy Johnson at a plate track or something here this season, we're going to take that opportunity. But we would climb up into P12, but as we came through to 9 to go in stage 1, which was only 18 laps, the handling was actually starting to go away in the car a little bit. I don't know what's going on, but guys, through the center of the corner, the car just cannot go compared to these other guys. There you heard my radio transmission as we actually lose a position to Kevin Harvick, but I just, through the center of the corner, you can see right here, the AI are just beating me so hard, and then on the exit of the corner, I'm just struggling as well, even as the run went on. We come through to the final few laps of stage 1. Martin Truex Jr., our Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, out front, but Matt Kenseth had now run me down with 2 laps to go, as we were hitting 2 laps to go, I should say, here in stage 1. He gets to my outside. I don't even bother fighting him too hard because we're not in a position to get stage points. We were climbing our way through the field very quick, but Kenseth is just going to blow right by me on the outside here as I have absolutely nothing for him. So it seems like so far we have a good short run car, but as the run goes on, the car just gets worse and worse, which is usually the opposite. Usually we struggle on the short run and get better on the long run. Now here we are, the complete opposite as we start the final lap in stage 1. Kyle Busch now out front down this back stretch into turns 3. He goes for the final time here in the first stage as he's going to try and take that stage victory away from our teammate of Martin Truex Jr. here as we go down the back stretch into turns 3 ourselves for the final time in stage 1. Kenseth to the top as he's been making it work, and you saw Almirola behind us doing that as well as we come through out of turns 4, crossing the line here in Dover in stage 1 for a somewhat disappointing P14 now, as the stage winner would be our teammate of Kyle Busch. Cole Custer actually got up to second, so Truex drops down to third in the stage, but I decided to make some adjustments here because, like I said, the car kind of felt loose, and especially through the center of the corner, and it just wasn't going through the center of the corner, so I tried to make the car a little bit tighter and see if that will help us at all here going into the second stage in Dover. We'll be restarting in the 14th position on the outside of Matt Kenseth. Now as the green flag is back out and stage 2 is officially underway, you're going to notice quite the difference in the lap counter. It's now 37 laps compared to stage 1's 18, and I thought that this is the third time or so that this has kind of been a thing this season in the career mode, and I thought it was a glitch in the game, but no, it's actually realistic to real life. So they're just running longer second stages at certain tracks this season in NASCAR, which is very interesting now, as we definitely have to approach some of these second stages differently now in the career mode now, as we're going to have to think about a green flag pit stop. 36 laps to go, and with a 3X tire and fuel wear, that means we will have to make a green flag pit stop if it stays green here in the second stage. But we're already flexing that short run speed that I was talking about now, as we're already up into P11, looking to the inside of the Chip Ganassi driver of Matt Kenseth, likely going to be his only season in that 42 car in this career mode, as we clear him though for the 10th position. Then we run down Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for 9th place in that number 47 car as I dive down into turns 1, but immediately when I went to the corner, the car did not turn, so it felt very tight there. But on the exit of the corner, it starts to get a little freer, so it definitely, the car felt a little bit all over the place, and it was starting to get a little bit annoying at this point now as we came through on lap 7 of the stage, and you can see I'm slipping and sliding through the whole corner right there as we came through out of turns 2. Kenseth into that 10th position now as we go down into turns 3. Now as though behind us we have actually trouble. Ty Dillon goes crashing, collecting Suarez and Chase Elliott. A heavy hit for Suarez, and up and over goes the 13 of Ty Dillon, but he lands on 4 wheels. The caution comes out here for the first time from a crash in this race in Dover. Nobody was coming to the pit lane, so I decided to stay out with the AI. So we'll be P9 for the restart, but Ty Dillon just blew a tire clearly, went into the outside wall, collected Suarez, who had a heavy hit with his front end, as well as Chase Elliott got involved, like I said, and then you saw Ty Dillon actually go up and over and land those he stuck the landing on 4 wheels now, as I can barely English now, has come through out of turns 2. So Stenhouse actually gets to my inside through turns 1 and 2. William Byron, who started on my outside on that restart, did not get going at all now as we come through turns 3. The 47 pushed up a little bit. Kevin Harvick trying to get to his inside as we come through out of turns 4. At this point in stage 1, there was only like 8 laps to go, but now we're not even halfway through stage 2 as we would hold on to P8 over Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but we would lose contact with the front 7 cars in front of us as Kurt Busch would take the lead here, coming to lap 18 in this second stage. Now, as I was starting to think about potentially short pitting because I was falling off again, we come to on lap 18. I'm struggling so hard with handling in the car, so loose on the exit of the corner. Now Cole Custer was actually out in front though at this point now as we came through turns 1 and 2, and then I hit the apron, a big mistake of myself. Did 24 gets to my inside, he pounces on the opportunity. William Byron in P9 looking to take over the 8th position from myself. Harvick gonna get to my outside. I was definitely just feeling the frustration at this point now as it came through out of turns 4, nearly making contact with the 4 of Kevin Harvick as we go down towards turns 1, trying my best to hang on, but at the same time now I'm really going to do that the shortstop strategy because it's just not working now here in Dover for us when the run gets longer. So we come through now on lap 22. I decide we're going to try and attempt the undercut now as we dive down into turns 3 and pit a little bit earlier than the AI. We get down to pace speed here, or pit speed, without speeding, thankfully, because we've had a speeding penalty so far this season already, and it costed us dearly. I think it was at Texas or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, or Atlanta. I can't remember which one, but we would put 4 tires on the car as well as 2 cans of fuel and hope that getting out of the pit lane and get into a decent gap where there's not too much traffic will give us an opportunity to make up a bunch of time that we lost there as that long run went on now as we get back towards exiting onto the track. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is able to go by there in that 14th position. So as the run, though, would cycle out, I was confident it was going to work out in our favor. Jimmy Johnson just now coming to the pit lane, as well as some other drivers. So a little bit earlier than I was expecting from the AI, but we came through now looking to the inside of both the 17 and then the 88 of Buescher. And Bowman 3-1 into turns 1, a little bit aggressive, but we had the tires to do it. And like I said, as this run would cycle out now, as come through out of turns 4, getting into the outside wall, actually, as we came out of the corner. Oh my god, guys, I'm such a idiot. There you heard it. Not very happy with myself about that. The frustrations, like I said, kicking in, but like we come through now on lap 27, we had cycled out into P6. After that whole pit cycle, it worked in our favor, but you see there now the caution has actually come out late in stage 2. So that completely messes us over because I knew that we had already put more laps on our tires, and now that brings the guys that had pitted after us right to our back bumper. So I was very concerned as we were in a good position right there to hang on to a very solid potential 6th place finish here in stage 2, but now the green flag is out with 7 laps remaining here in the second stage now as we're behind Hamlin. We got Alex Bowman, who was actually out front with Keselowski joining him on the front row. William Byron in 3rd place, Martin Truex Jr. there in P5 as we have McDowell Byron inside as we come through out of turn 2. Behind us, we got Cole Custer in that 41, and from what I've seen so far, we're going to have to watch out for that 41 of Cole Custer going into this 3rd and final stage, as well as the end here of stage 2. Custer is able to get to my outside out of turns 4, and he is just going to blow the doors right off my car as he is flying. You can see the little flame symbol beside his name. He has a very fast car coming into this race. I make a mistake as well into turns 1, and we drift down into P7 behind Custer, but I try to fight back to the inside. At this point, I was still confident that I had speed better than Cole Custer now as we go down into turns 3, but he was making it pretty evident that I don't think anybody had speed as good as his at this very moment here in Dover. We come through now on lap 33 through turns 1 and 2. William Byron going for the lead here in Dover over his teammate of Alex Bowman as I briefly get out of the throttle because I was about to hit the wall. I tagged the wall with the right rear quarter panel, and that left the door open for Logano, Harvick, and Ryan Blaney, as well as Tyler Reddick trying to get to my inside, but we hold on there to P10 as Blaney is going to take over that 9th position. Blaney out front in the playoff standings right now as we came through to the final lap now. In stage 2, there you see Blaney and Harvick side by side now as Custer trying to hang on to his first stage win, I believe it would be, of his Cup Series career now, as we go down into turns 3, trying to hold off Tyler Reddick now as we come through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time. Hamlin had absolutely nothing for Custer. We come through across the line, hanging on to one stage point here as we cross the line for the 10th position. So very happy with that, because I definitely don't think we have a top 10 car here in Dover so far. The adjustments didn't really feel like it did the trick for us, unfortunately, in Dover, so we're definitely going to have to work on that now as we get ready to go green here for the third and final stage. More adjustments on the car now, as we also have to make slight repairs now as we get ready to go green for this third and final stage now. So you see I put the grill tape actually up to 40%, the wedge down to 49.7, because I felt like the car was maybe too tight at times through the center of the corner, and I felt like maybe that's why I couldn't turn as good as the AI instead. So I decided to put the wedge down and see if we can get a little freer through that center of the corner now, as we are underway here in Dover for the third and final stage now from the 10th position. 39 laps to go as we dive down into turns 1. Cole Custer trying to hang on for his very first win here in the Cup Series now, as we get going down this back straightaway behind Brad Keselowski on the outside of the 8 of Tyler Reddick as we dive down into turn 3. Eric Almirola and Kyle Busch both trying to get up my inside. Busch kind of backs out of it now as we're side by side with Eric Almirola. We're going to split the middle though between Almirola and Keselowski, 3 wide up the middle as we dive down into turns 1, trying to just rally our way with that short run speed that we've had all race. We've had incredible short run speed in this race car here as we dive down towards turns 3 of the inside of the 22 of Joey Logano now, as you see Custer driving away at this point as we come through out of turns 4. A little bit of contact there with the 22 of Joey Logano as we get up the inside as well of Alex Bowman with 37 laps to go. About the same length or so of that second stage now. So not much of a difference between stage 2 and stage 3 now, as we would get up the inside though of William Byron as we come through out of turns 4, slipping and sliding there as we go down this front stretch. Now 36 to go here in the final stage, but we've climbed up into P7. We would also fight up to the back of Kevin Harvick, who is running that outside lane, and when the AI run the outside, that's a huge chance for us as we make contact with the 2014 Cup Series champion as we dive down into turn 3. Harvick though, he was able to maintain the speed in the car, keep it straight now as we come through out of turns 4. More contact over the 4 of Harvick now as we're both being aggressive, myself extremely aggressive there trying to get that position, and we do get P6 from Harvick, but clearly that was all on me both times as I just pushed too hard on the exit of the corner. We come through now hitting lap 69. Nice. At this point, 32 laps to go as we dive down into turns 1. Custer continues to lead, but then on lap 70, I leave the bottom open for Joey Logano. He pounces on the opportunity and takes away the 6th position as we exit turns 4. And I see Kyle Busch hauling behind me, so I decide to just kind of leave him the room. But actually, we make a little bit of contact there, door to door into the corner. That pushes me up the track. We fall now down into the 9th position behind him and Kevin Harvick. So definitely things not going our way at this point, but then the caution comes out now with 28 laps to go. Unfortunately, I was hoping that I was going to stay green and we might have had a chance to do a green flag pit stop. Didn't work out. We made more adjustments though now as we're going to be P9 going into the pits, but we dropped 17 positions to go to P26, but it was not all hope lost, as I did see some slower cars stay out. There's a bunch of slower cars in front of us, so it was actually more of a mixed strategy now as we are underway here in Dover for what could be the final restart now, as we have 4 fresh tires, and based off the strategy, seeing who's up in front of us, there's definitely some drivers up there that did not take 4 fresh tires. So this could be an opportunity for us now as we're going to get very aggressive on this restart here in the Dryden 400 as we dive down towards turn 3 behind the 10 of Eric Almirola, who went exactly where I wanted to go. So we got to be a little bit careful with him as we come through out of turns 4, right on the back of that 10 now on the outside of the 47, 3 wide as we go down the front stretch. Jimmy Johnson and a 3 wide as well behind us now as we get to the outside of the 10 of Almirola. We're going to be 4 wide through turns 1 and 2. This cannot go good as we get into the outside wall on the exit of turns 2, but not too much harm done to the car, just a little bit of visual damage now as we would continue on this run though on the outside lane, passing the 41. Then we get to the outside wall again here in Dover. Well, there you heard the radio transmission from myself here, coming to just 21 laps to go. Definitely frustrated at this point, nothing going our way, but we were trying to move our way forwards here as I just keep hitting the wall, unfortunately making silly mistakes, but we still climb up into the top 15, almost up into P12 if we get past John Hunter Nemechek, and sure enough, through turns 3 and 4, we're going to be able to propel ourselves in front of that 38 car. So now up into P12, not all hope is quite lost yet at this point now, as we would run down the back of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, but behind us we had the 4 of Harvick and the 41 of Custer. I hit the apron on the exit of turns 4 and leave the door open for Harvick now, as this has just been a mistake-filled race from myself at this point. Custer goes by as well. Custer, the fastest car here, got messed up there in the back of traffic as well. Now as we're going to get back up the inside of Jimmy Johnson, but into turns 1, Newman blows a tire. We go to the inside of Custer. The caution comes out with 14 laps to go here in Dover, and now this will force a late race restart here. Now as we're going to be lining up in P12. Nobody coming to the pit lane. I decided to stay out as well, knowing though that we're not in a good position here, as we've actually gone the last 2 races without a top 10, and it looks like at this rate we're gonna go 3 in a row here without a top 10 as we're ready to go back green. And on the front row it's Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin. Does Cole Custer have enough time to work his way back up to the front? He is P11 with 11 laps to go. If he can gain 1 position a lap, Cole Custer could still pick up his very first Cup Series victory and be the first of this rookie class this season to win a race. Now as I feel like this is right now the most stacked rookie class there's been in quite a while. Myself, Christopher Bell, Cole Custer, Tyler Reddick. I feel like all of us are capable of potentially sneaking in a win now. As you see, up at this point on lap 92, I got up to the inside of Matt Kenseth, but I was struggling so hard to gain anything. I drove away from the cars behind. As you also see, we were having temperature problems, but I just could not pass Matt Kenseth. So we stay in P12. He makes the middle work, passes myself and William Byron. Then I, of course, hit the apron out of turns 4 and completely ruined my chances of having a shot at these guys in front of us now with 5 laps to go in Dover. And now the guys behind me, Austin Dillon, he was reeling me in. Kyle Busch at this point with just 2 laps to go had taken the lead. He was able to pass Truex. He was able to pass Denny Hamlin and move up to the front. Now as we exit turns 4, slipping and sliding all over the place behind us, Stenhouse and Dillon are side by side for that position now as come through turns 3 and 4. Now approaching the final lap out of turns 4, doing everything I can to hang on as Kyle Busch is hoping, of course, that he just makes it back to the checkered flag at this point for his 2nd win of the season, which would tie the rest of the JGR drivers with 2 wins apiece, except for myself, who is now sideways on the exit of turns 2 after hitting the apron again. We give up the spot to Stenhouse on this final lap here as we dive down into turns 3. I'm trying to get to his bumper to move him, and it doesn't work because I completely miss and leave the door open for the 3 in the process. We're sliding again on the exit of turns 4, and we hand away another spot to Austin Dillon as we come through to cross the line here in Dover for an extremely disappointing 14th place. But at the same time, considering how frustrating that race was, I thought P14 wasn't actually that bad for, like I said, how frustrating it was. Kyle Busch, though, with his 2nd win on the season here in Dover, so great for him, great for the Joe Gibbs Racing team, as Kurt Busch was one of the cautions. I did not see it in the replay, but he was one of the cautions and he DNF'd. So the bad luck that Kurt Busch started the season off with has kind of crept back in a little bit here for that number 1 driver now, as we have some compliments for DiBenedetto and Michael McDowell. But I'm very much hopeful that we can go into the next race at Martinsville and have a much better run. Usually we go to Martinsville and are always capable of having a chance at winning. Surprisingly, I remember back in the NASCAR Heat 3 career mode, we won 5 or 6 times at Martinsville, and in the NASCAR Heat 4 career mode, we only won 1 time at Martinsville, and that was actually our last chance to win at Martinsville, was one that we did win in that 42 car. But there you see the point standings on your screen, and as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do, and I'm very excited, to be honest, for the next race. We got some good races coming up. Martinsville, the paperclip, of course, a little bit later in the season than usual. I'm not sure if this is going to be a night race or not, but there you see some driver stats, actually. So Martin Truex Jr., he's led 69 laps this season. Nice. And so has Ryan Blaney, actually. As you see me comparing, I'm like, wait a minute, did they both lead 69? Kyle Busch has led over 80 laps. And then, actually, you're going to see the stats here quickly for myself. We have led like 30 laps this season, but we're going to quickly show the playoff grid. So Bell, he's in the playoffs. Newman's still in the playoffs as well, which is a bit of a surprise. Kurt Busch currently holding on to that last spot. Jimmy Johnson, 17 points out. Bubba Wallace is now 11 points out after being the last guy into the last episode. But I would like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one where we go racing at the Paperclip in Martinsville. Have a great day, everybody.